and welcome to Bradders Grappers. I am your host, Bradders, as always. And on this almost quick edition of Bradders Grappers, we are looking back at what happened at Bridge Pro Wrestling's special outdoor show entitled We've Got Heat 2, which was originally scheduled for July, but was taking place last Sunday after the rescheduling. And what a show it was. However, before we come to the actual show, I'm going to introduce a new feature to this podcast, mainly because it seemed to always affect me. So, I'm going to call this new section Bradders Graps Travelling Nightmares.
Bradders Graps Travelling Nightmares. This is the plot. He only has bad luck when you go to transport. Be it a train, bus, or coach, or even an Uber. And getting stuck at Smithing, Golden Bridge, or maybe even Crew. This is a disaster like his travels. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Yes, expense very much spared on this podcast. So, for those of you who do not know, traveling on a train in the UK is as likely as me coming into money, or anything that is very highly unlikely. So the lead up to the show, I was panicking because all week there was no trains running on the route from Manchester to Stourbridge, which is a bit of a pain. So looking it up, and it looked like I was going to have to do the route of Manchester to Birmingham, New Street to Snow Hill to Smethwick, Smethwick to Stourbridge Junction, Junction to town if I wanted to go down that route. And I was kind of left with no other option than to travel the way I did, because there were no trains running to Birmingham via Manchester. So the only route you could do was Manchester to Crewe, Crewe to Smethwick Golden Bridge, of which I did not know that West Bromwich Albion were playing that day in the football, and was met with what you could say were like barcodes or zebras due to the amount of kind of navy blue and white shirts. So I get to Smethwick, and someone that is on Bridge Pro quite a lot, or I say quite a lot, in recent times at least, in Tara Gray, she read that I had posted where I was and informed me of the trains, because she was on the same train as I was, but she was getting it from Snow Hill. So I was getting my travel updates from her, not National Rail, which, to be fair, was crap. So ended up chatting to this nice couple from, I think they were originally from the south, and now residing from Bristol, if you use a wrestling version of things. And so I'm informing them of what's happening, because they were going to Worcester and were getting a train from Worcester, which would then connect to Bristol Temple Meads. Anyhow, a train comes, get to Stourbridge, treat myself to the shuttle that they have running from Stourbridge Junction to town, which is the smallest shuttle in all of Europe, or was. Whether that's changed or not, I do not know. Cost about £1.60. Bit of luxury. Takes 3 minutes to get there, as about walking about 20 minutes. Uh, but we get to town, order a taxi, get to the venue, which was the Woolaston Village Hall. Um, Much like the last time I went, it was baking hot, but we were not indoors and it was not 40 degrees, which was a bonus. Uh, I did end up with massive sunburn, uh, to which my manager on the Monday thought I had an allergic reaction due to how red my arms were, which was not particularly helpful, but it is what it is. Get to the venue, meet up with the usual crew, uh, which is normally Ian and Lorna. So shout out to them. Also bump into from Frog Splash Photos, Adam, uh, slight friend of the show. I know him, so I'm saying friend of the show in the same way you say uncle and auntie, whoever, when they're just friends of family. Uh, Gav, I saw, who is loosely associated with the group chat podcast. Um, I'll give them a plug in a bit. But yeah, we get to the venue, sit down, baking hot day. I will probably say that quite often. And then we get to the opening contest, which was, as people message me, the opening match was a last man standing contest between the Super Beast, Liam Jones, and TJ Rex. So this is a rivalry that started way back in, I believe, he says, and I can't check because I have deleted my cage match one. I believe it was back in April. No, it was. No, I was right. May. So we had a three-way match involving Liam Jones, TJ Rex, and the brilliance in James Ellis. Um, Ended up with Jones taking the win. Uh, Rex was not happy because I think every match they've been involved in, Jones has come out top, and Rex just could not take it anymore. Uh, Gets the ring bell, smacks Jones in the head with it. To which the next show we had, which was Exile, uh, we ended up having, uh, yeah, Exile. No, it wasn't. I tell a lie. Bash at the Bridge. I'm confusing myself, which isn't particularly difficult for me. So we had the Bridge Pro title elimination match. Uh, and during that, it saw Rex once again using the ring bell to eliminate Liam Jones from the contest. Um, and so we've kind of moved things on. And this was these two men getting it on, so to speak, in a last man standing contest. So the notes I have on this, and I'm going to try and not use as many because we have two shows to get to. So we have Rex trying to take the legs straight out from Liam Jones straight away. Uh, TJ, who had brought a hammer down to ringside, very kind of almost mafia style, um, casino, if you will, goes to use the hammer, but Liam blocks it. Jones then goes to Chop City on Rex's ass, with both single and double-handed chops to the chest of his foe. TJ looks to escape any more punishment, He crawls between me and Adam, gets as far as the third row, uh, of which Rex finds himself trapped. Liam puts a chair on top of him to pin him down and looks like a human sandwich. Um, at this point, he receives a baking tray from my mate Ian, who brings loads of gimmicks to these shows, um, and proceeds to then smack a baking tray off the arse of TJ Rex. And just for good measure, as TJ kind of gets his bearings back, or some feeling in his arse, probably the wrong term of phrase there, he then gets cracked in the head from the same item, followed by I think it was a Diet Coke can, and then takes a running spear in the back from his opponent. So things definitely not looking on the up and up for TJ Rex here. However, things then slightly change as we have Rex throw Liam into the ring post. Goes for an Asai moonsault, but Liam sidesteps, very much like Samoa Joe. Goes to hit a Superman punch, all on the outside. This is happening. Um, and then throws him back into the ring, whereupon Rex hits a baseball slide into the feet of Liam, who drops down face first onto the ring apron. The hardest part of the ring, don't you know? Uh, Rex goes straight back to the legs, looking to just cripple his opponent. Um, Jones fires back with a spine buster, but a flying clothesline from Rex sees him back on the front foot. This is until he gets hit by a lariat and then a twisting release neck breaker from the middle rope, or Brett's rope, I should say. This is then followed up by a pile driver from the Super Beast, and he gets the win in this last man standing contest, with TJ unable to get to his feet by the 10 count, and wins in a time of 12 minutes and 36 seconds. Really entertaining opening contest, this. Um, what you want from a show really is to kind of like set the trend early, set the tone is probably the better term of phrase. Really enjoyable matches. Love Liam, love TJ, and this it started a bit comedic, and then when we got down to things, it got more serious and was one of the hard hitting bouts of the show. And we then moved to match number two, which was the Relentless All Stars in Ruby, Manitoba, and Rhiannon Jade taking on the team of Sabrina Valentine and Tess Warren. So Sabrina, Ruby, and Rhiannon, I've seen once or twice on bridge shows. Tess, this was my first outing having seen her, and I've heard like the hype behind her from shows she's done down south, and I can definitely attest to those kind of feedbacks I've read. Uh, she's an absolute menace to officials, fans, and opponents. She is brilliant. Let me just say that. Not a whole lot really I can go into on this match because there was more kind of crowd interaction with kind of Tess than anything. Um, Sabrina, who when she got in the ring, was she didn't do a whole lot, but what she did, she made the best of. Less is more is one term that gets thrown around, and that definitely felt like that here. Uh, Rhiannon was the isolated party in this contest. That was after the both Ruby and Jade had kind of held the upper hand in the early exchanges, um, especially when they started with the whole fans' favorite get on the middle rope and pose to the crowd and get the cheer. Then the opponents do it and draw the boos. Then we kind of go back and forth with that and ended up with Sabrina and Tess just beating up their opponents. So anyway, roll it forward the video, and we have Jade desperate to make the tag, tags in Ruby, who comes in like a wrecking ball with clotheslines, like getting the momentum back for her team. We see some really good tandem offense from both teams, if truth be told. Um, but while you fully expect it with Ruby and Rhiannon, the kind of cohesive unit of Sabrina and Tess worked very well as a unit. Um, I don't know if they have worked together on other shows, but here they looked really good. Uh, and if you told me that they were a tag team, I would have believed you. It wasn't like having two singles wrestlers paired together. They were really good together, and I think helped this match as well. Um, the back end of this match, or the closing stages of this match, saw Sabrina hitting a X Factor, I believe, on Ruby. Uh, or was it Rhiannon? I think it was Rhiannon actually. Um, and then soon after, we had the Relentless All Stars gaining momentum back and saw what is arguably my favorite tag team finisher at the moment, and saw a power bomb into a backstabber, with Jade hitting the power bomb and Ruby bringing their opponent down with backstabber, uh, and wins in a time of 9 minutes and 28 seconds. Really entertaining contest. Uh, if it was possible, I would love them to run it back. I don't think they will be able to, but it was really entertaining. Uh, Good stuff all round. We then came to Zach Walker, the future, taking on JC, and we had JC coming out with a cardboard sign with justice for JC, claiming conspiracy from Bridge Pro management and just anything, to be fair. Um, Zach did he didn't particularly care for what JC was putting out there. Uh, so we see early on a springboard Hurricane Rana. Um, then the fight moves to the outside, where Walker chops his opponent. During this, we see JC grabbing his sign, thrusting it in front of Walker, just saying, "Justice for JC," and proceeds to get slapped again. We then have the match move back inside, where a kick to the head from JC to his opponent while on the apron has him in control. He then has Walker choking on the ropes, asking our side of the venue, "Is this your boy?" Um, Especially as Walker is a Stourbridge native, so he did have the home crowd in his favor. JC then performs a variation of Three Amigos and look more like underhook suplexes than traditional suplexes, but it still got the job done. We see a flying crossbody from Zach, followed by a release suplex from JC. And this contest, kind of the second half of it, really was kind of like who was going to win this. JC takes over on Zach, look to end things with a curb stomp, misses, gets hit with a springboard DDT by Zach Walker, and Zach finishes it off with a springboard kick to JC and wins in a time roughly of 10 minutes and 38 match. 10 minutes and 38 minutes. Really good match this. Two people I do enjoy watching. Um, Zach, who I could even throw JC into this. When when you go to a new promotion and you've never seen them, sometimes it can take a couple of shows before you kind of buy into them. And for both of these, I feel when I'd seen both, I didn't think particularly much of them. Not a criticism, just how I viewed it. But as I've gone to a fair few more shows now, uh, and I've seen both wrestle more, I can understand why both are kind of massive improvements from where I saw them from the start, which would obviously happen as you get more reps in. Uh, Walker, I think, has matured more from the first match I saw him in, which was uh, was it anniversary show? No, it wasn't. It was the second show they did. I'm not too sure how many shows they've done now, and I can't look because I deleted the page. Uh, JC, entertaining bad guy, uh, is very irritating, but in a good way, is what I could say. Um, Whenever I see JC come out, I know the crowd's just going to hate him. And on that basis, he's doing his job very well. Uh, because I think it was Bash at the Bridge, he came out uh trying to talk and was basically uh booed out the building, so he could not talk much. But bless him, he tried to talk over him. Did not particularly work. Um, but yeah, very uh two people I think have good futures moving forward. Uh, Always good staples on a Bridge Pro card. We then move to well, it wasn't our match before the break because we have another one afterwards. But it was Alex Dean, who, as far as I know, should not be on Bridge Pro now, having lost a career match uh, against the Relentless All Stars in a six-person tag match. Um, but he's still here and he's still wearing his dad's coat. Uh, some will understand that reference if you go along. Um, his opponent in this was Big Country Ben McDonald. Uh, Reminded me very much of a young Mick Foley. Um, One, because he had a slight look of Mick Foley. Secondly, because obviously of the red and black check shirt. Um, this was this was a bit of like a comedy match, but uh, did its job. I think it's fair to say. Was not quite a squash match, but it was very close. Um, so Dean looks at his opponent before the match, having had Pete Crockett doing the emceeing, reading out his national insurance number and his home address. Um, Alex goes mad at him, saying, "Why are you telling everyone my personal information?" And Pete responds with, "I'm trying to get you a new job. I'm helping you," which was quite funny. Uh, Dean then just looks at his taller opponent because the size difference was there, and Alex just looks at him and immediately kind of just resting his head on the top rope and thinking, "What have I done? What am I being punished here?" Um, so Dean tries to take over on his taller opponent and gets put. Well, he has his opponent in a headlock. McDonald just straightens up and lifts Alex off the ground while still in the headlock, which told you the size differential between the two. Oh, Alex does gain the upper hand though, as McDonald runs at him in the corner with the big boot, misses, so his leg goes over the top rope and sees Dean doing what you would do, just kick the other leg, try and kind of take away the vertical base of the taller opponent. Um, this kind of goes on for a bit. Uh, Ben hits some powerful moves, uh, ends up hitting a big slam, and then finishes the job off with a power bomb. Uh, a beautiful power bomb, it has to be said, and wins in a time of the American shop 7-11. We then come to our main event of show one and was a triple threat match involving Chantel Jordan, Natalie Sykes, and Rio. This was a whole heckin' lot of fun. So we have, well, I just take a quick sip. Because you have to do the if you have a drink. So Sykes does not want to face either of these two in the match. So she just sits atop the top corner as they just kind of like Rio and Chantel wrestle. One gets thrown towards Natalie and she just kicks him away, which is quite humorous, to be fair. Uh, we then have Chantel with the strikes, Rio with the power, and Sykes just being the bratty irritant in this contest. Um, so when we get more into it, Sykes sidesteps Rio, who is running at her from behind. This leads to Rio knocking Chantel off the apron. Sykes goes for the roll up, does not get it, but then hits a short DDT, hitting the DDT on Rio with the with her opponent on her knees. Jordan uses those educated feet and hits some vicious kicks on Rio in the corner. Then catches Natalie. Rio then gets some upper upper hand in this contest as she stomps Chantel Jordan in the corner. Uh, Mudhole stomping would have been the terminology on the old SmackDown games. We see then a super kick by Rio to Natalie, who wants to make a pact uh, with her opponent, and Rio wants nothing to do with her. We then get a spot where it's sorry. We get a spot where Chantel catches Sykes with a kick to the face after Rio goes to clothesline Sykes. Sykes ducks, gets kicked by Chantel. Rio then headbutts Natalie. We get a big boot from Jordan to Rio, and then we see a beautiful cutter from Sykes on Chantel. You'll be hearing me wax lyrical about the cutter that Sykes does because it is I might go as far to say it is the sweetest cutter on the Brit Rest scene. I'm putting it out there. Later on, we see Sykes hitting the cutter again, this time on Rio. She then hits a double code breaker on both Rio and Jordan from Brett's rope. Sykes hits a second cutter on Chantel as we reach the closing stages, but Sykes jumps off the top rope and is met by a big boot in midair from Chantel Jordan and sees the bad girl chalking up the victory in a time of 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Absolute cracker of a main event on show one. Cannot praise these three any higher. Everyone looked great in this. Very much worthy of a main event match. Um, and from that point onwards, we went into I think it was like a 2 hour interval or something along the lines of that. Um, I tried to get out the sun because it's too damn hot. Um, Ended up chatting more with Gav, uh, who I know from TNT shows, and see him on like even a few other shows I attend. Um, Adam and me were just from Frog Splash Photos. Were just sat at the back in some chairs that were unattended and in the shade, which was very, very nice. Uh, Quick chat with JC, listening to them talking about the villa, uh, listening to their disagreements and grumbles. Uh, Seeing as I don't particularly have a horse in the race these days, being a not so much a lapsed City fan these days, as opposed to a completely gone City fan. Uh, I still watch the 90s stuff because you know, I love punishment and I don't like wins. But what's funny listening to him when Villa was well, Adam mostly, because he didn't want to know the score, and then everyone was telling him, which was not particularly good for them. But you know, we all love to wind others up. We did have a quick, I say uh, we went up to the merch stand, had a brief chat with Natalie Sykes, uh, one of the nicest people. Uh, I rarely kind of like get to chat with many of them, but Sykes is always one of the friendliest ones I've met. If I've ever had the pleasure to chat to her. Then chatted to Rio, and we would with Gav, and we just kind of talked about even things and who would be crazy enough to do kind of like a hardcore match here. Um, and we basically said Emerson Jane would and what she would attempt. So that was fun. Um, then we took our seats and we sat down for show number two of We've Got Heat. So we start off with another hard hitting contest. And this was between Brandon Jordan and the red haired rascal Samuel Hughes. Two men who do not like one another. And we have seen this rivalry going on for some time now. Uh, and it's on both men not wanting to take a step back with the ref wanting to start it because he wanted it each other bad. Uh, Bridge Pro owner Ryan Parrott grabbed the microphone and said, "This is just get it over with. I'm sick of you two just not keeping to the rules. Just get it over with." So this match now became a no disqualification contest. Um, I have noticed, but not many. They are more bullet points. So we saw a lot of things in this contest. We saw baking trays, chairs, hard hitting action. Uh, it felt very much like the opening match of show one in the last man standing match, but just not a last man standing match. Um, so we have Sam taking a beating, but then fights his way back. Unfortunately, though, Brandon regains control of this contest. Um, Samuel then gets. Oh, sorry. Brandon then goes to send Samuel into the chair that he has put in between the ropes. I think it was Brandon that done it. I could be wrong. Either way, Brandon went straight through the chair. Uh, nice little spot there. Um, both men just beating the hell out of each other. And it was made doubly worse for both because you had the baking heat, as I keep saying, midday sun, way past midday sun, but the hottest part of the day. And both are ginger. And uh, with my mate Gav, who's ginger as well, they were definitely feeling it more, shall we say. Um, we then have a part where Brandon goes under the ring, pulls out a yellow box, which was a big, massive Lego kind of case, uh, empties the entire contents of Lego on the mat. And we then have uh, Samuel Hughes power bombing Brandon uh, onto the Lego pieces. Then Hughes does something very, very stupid. And we were saying this the entire time, but still did it anyway. Obviously driven by hate. He hit a dead eye on Jordan onto the blocks, but it looked more painful on him going knee first into Lego, which standing on Lego is bad enough, but kneeling on it or going knee first, it, it, it ain't good. I think I would much rather take thumbtacks to the knees than Lego. Um, but be that as it may, Sam then himself gets sent into the Lego. Um, and then for a slight part, I couldn't see fully what was going on because the chair they had used, um, of which Samuel Hughes was sent crashing through it, uh, bent the chair almost in half, was placed by the ropes, and at times I couldn't particularly see. The video still shows I could see about a good portion, but uh, facial wise, moves wise, I couldn't fully see. So I'm kind of getting a bit of commentary. Um, so we see Sam sent into the Lego, then a frog splash by Jordan to use, which gets a 2 count. We see Jordan attempt another big hitting move. That looks like that would finish it. Doesn't. And in the end, we see Jordan kind of rolling Hughes into the Lego, holding his arms back behind him, foot in between the shoulder blades, and pushes his opponent face first into the Lego pieces. And that, my friends, is the end as Jordan chalks up the victory in a time of 19 minutes and 37 seconds. It was a long match, but it did not feel long, especially in the heat. For those two, it probably felt much longer. Um, but yeah, cracking match between the two. Um, I'm interested to know if that is the final match we get between them now, or if we might do something else. So watch this space. We then had a tag team encounter with Hyperactive making their return, having wrestled in Japan for a few months and are officially Sendai girls with uh, the Sendai promotion. Uh, really happy to see them two getting this opportunity. Love both of them. Massive Hyperactive fan. Uh, However, this really did test my allegiance um, because you had one half of Lally as their opponents in Holly Barlow, and her opponent was Chantel Jordan, fresh from her victory earlier from show one. Um, I imagine, possibly, I don't know this, it may have been lined up to be Hyperactive and Lally. I don't know that. I'm going only guessing. Just because it seems weird to have Holly in a tag match, not with Lana. Um, but again, I don't know. But this was funny and entertaining, which is exactly what you want from a wrestling match. And this provided everything. Um, so we have Sapphire and Chantel both looking to kick each other and catching each other's foot, uh, to which they do the spot of put your foot down, put my foot down, and they both do it slowly at the same time. Um, this is a weird match where there were no seemingly kind of a heel team. There was one person that was heel, uh, and I did not like for obvious reasons, which we will go into. Um, so we have Holly enter the fray, uh, doing press ups, jumping jacks, uh, basically saying she's strong, she's ready to take on Nita Vaughn. Um, AV then mocks Hull's height, going for a test of strength with Holly um, smaller stature, not being able to reach up and get AV's hand. Um, or someone messages me. This leads to referee Adam Evans basically making a platform for Holly to stand on his back to do the test of strength. And as she goes to do it, AV just leaps in the air and Ollie's jumps down and is not a happy camper. To which I think I may have been the only Holly fan particularly there. Uh, Obviously, being Mancunian, I have to cheer for my fellow Manc. Uh, but hyperactive, uh, I it's like trying to choose your favorite child. I don't have that problem, as you can probably tell. Um, but it was a really tough match for who to cheer for. Um, but as I say, this kind of went on a tiny bit. Uh, when we get really to like the proper meat of this contest, we have Barlow and Chantel isolating Sapphire Reed and doing a very good job at it. Um, Holly does a fair bit of the work, and you have the fans chanting for Chantel. Uh, Holly is not very happy and chants, "We don't want Chantel." Um, Bless her. Um, so Holly's just losing it as this match goes on. Very hot-headed. The weather won't have helped her cause either. Um, but we have Hyperactive getting back in the contest. They hit an assisted splash on Chantel with Sapphire being dropped off the shoulders of Anita Vaughan onto Chantel Jordan. Um, and then we see towards the back end uh, a I don't know what you call it. It's a Avie has Chantel on her shoulders and then slams her to the mat, but you get a kick from Sapphire Reed, which ends the contest with Hyperactive taking the win. Um, they leave to celebrate. This leaves us in the ring with Holly and Jordan. Holly just verbally abuses her partner, uh, saying, "I want to tag with winners. You're not a winner," and then picks her up and hits a Samoan drop. Um, Leaves with the crowd booing her. Uh, I may have still cheered for her, just because of how I am. Uh, and sees Hyperactive taking that contest, as I say, in a time of 13 minutes and 44 seconds. Our penultimate match of this show was Edgar Adams, the Speed Demon himself, taking on Goth Boy in Joe Wade. Um, Not a whole lot of notes I've got here because it was a pretty quick contest, in truth. Uh, both getting as much offense in as the other could. Uh, However, we started off with Wade not wanting to engage much. Every time Ed came up, he'd kind of bail and just duck his head out between the ropes. Um, Wade does gain control. Uh, that's until a running clothesline from Adams, as he does, where he builds up speed and then connects. Goth Boy then hits a twisting suplex and then drags Adam along the mat, or Adams, I should say, along the mat, which was a black mat in the baking zone. Uh, and Adams, who is ginger, it's not going to work out well for him. It would have burnt that pale skin of his, uh, and it would not have been good for him. We then see kicks by Wade as that puts him back in, well, sees him in even more control of this contest. We then see Edgar reversing whatever Wade had planned because it looked like he was going to lift him up in a power bomb. Uh, but Edgar reverses that into a Hurricane Rana. We then get multiple kicks, followed by a springboard moonsault off Brett's rope by Adams. Edgar then hits a playmaker uh, and draws a 2 count. Wade comes back with solid strikes and a Michinoku driver as he gets a near fall himself. Uh, Wade looks to end things with a running knee to his opponent. However, Adams manages to duck it, and we see a springboard cutter from the second rope and has Edgar Adams finishing it off, following that springboard cutter with a frog splash to win in a time of 6 minutes and 51 seconds. A quick but a really entertaining match, this. Um, Wade, I haven't seen too often, um, but he's um, always an interesting cat to watch. Uh, Methodical, but has some kind of high flying and on occasions very stiff kicks and does remind me of watching Chris Ridgway wrestle. Very much strong style uh, maneuvers that he pulls off. Adam's complete opposite, quick as a flash, and can pull moves out from any position it feels. Um, the Hurricane Rana from a powerbomb looking scenario was a really nice move. The springboard cut is very nice as well. I don't think it passes Sipes on that personally. I think she's got that covered well and truly. Um, but yeah, it did what it did. A serviceable match is a term that has been coined a few times, and I would definitely class this as that. We then come to our main event of the day and was for the Bridge Pro Tag Team titles, the Exile Pack in Luke Douglas and Alex Connors, taking on Lycos Jim in Lycos 1 and Lycos 2. So, I have a fair few notes on this. So, we have Connors not breaking cleanly on the ropes, with Lycos being held. Uh, However, we do see tandem offense coming from Lycos Jim and have the challengers on the front foot. Um, the fight then spills to the outside, where all four take turns to punch, kick. It's all in the mind, as Master Onion from Parappa the Rapper would say. Uh, it kind of goes all over the place, this match then. They use the location to its fullest extent. Um, so you have Connors pinning, sorry, Lycos pinning Connors down, does the 10 punch spot, but when we get to 10, he pokes him in the eyes in a kind of Three Stooges like, oh. Um, Again, they fight all over the grassy knoll, with the momentum changing when I think it's Douglas throws Lycos down the hill and has Lycos 2 putting his head to his hands, thinking, "Oh no, what's happened?" Um, but we do then see uh, Lycos grabbing a water pistol during this time, or, or during this whole period. Grabs this water pistol contraption from my mate Ian, uh, and they just soak Luke Douglas, who, I'll be honest, I think that was arguably his most enjoyable move he took. Um, because it was cooling him down and it actually worked in the context of this match, believe it or not. Um, but yeah, the match returns to the ring. Exile Pack take control. Uh, we get a tag team move with a Manhattan drop, followed by a kick to Lycos 2. That's even more followed up by some Hardy Boys offense with the kind of like two legs dropped, which lands kind of high up uh, in the stomach region, though it looked more like a low blow, with a knee drop from Connors. Lycos then gets the tag and sees him bossing this contest for the next few minutes, performs a running knee to the back of Connors' head, who is draped over Brett's rope. We then have Connors throwing Lycos into referee Adam Evans. Evans drops to the floor in pain. This allows Connors to kick Lycos in the balls. Douglas also kicks Lycos 2 in the balls, kicking both members of Lycos Gym in the balls, meaning Lycos 1 and 2, not the, yeah, I'll leave that there. Douglas gets the belt, goes to clock Lycos. However, Evans has woken up from his slumber, wrestles the belt from him, and as the ref's back is turned, this allows Kid Lycos to kick Douglas in the balls. Uh, and then we have chaos ensue for the next few minutes as we have Lycos Jim taking over Douglas. Connors pulls the referee out. So you have Kid Lycos and Connors arguing on the outside. Referee is dragged over to that whole conversation. Douglas, though, manages to get that belt, clocks Lycos 2 in the head with it. We then see the kneecap brainbuster slash super kick combo from the Exile pack as both Lycoses are down for the count. Kid Lycos on the outside, Kid Lycos 2 having taken that double team and sees the champions retaining their titles. And as far as I can remember, while I go to my notes, they have now held that tag team titles for over a year as of the 27th of August. It is 367 days, so 2 days over a year. I would like to say congratulations to them, but I can't. So yes. But that is how the show ended. Ian soaking the champions in water, but they do not care. They have retained their titles. And who, you ask, are going to try and take them on? The question I have, and I could be wrong on this, I don't think the Relentless All Stars have had their tag match yet. Because I know at Exile they were in that six-person tag match, where if they won, they got a title shot, and obviously if they had lost, then Alex Dean would, I think, gain full control of Bridgeboro General Management, something along the lines of that. It didn't happen anyway. So I imagine either the next show or down the line, they will be challenging for those tag team titles. Well, I just double check again, but I'm fairly sure they won a number one contendership. Anywho, that completes what happened on the show. However, for me, it was not. So, and I want to give a special shout out here to Stu from Rumble Snaps. Absolute living legend and good egg. Because I'd explained to him my situation with travel because we were chatting beforehand, even during the week, about how I was getting there. And he gave me a lift to Stourbridge Junction with his daughter and someone else that was on the show, but that will be kept secret. So got to Stourbridge Junction. Obviously fashionably late, as all trains are in the Midlands. Get to Smethwick Galton Bridge, onwards to Wolverhampton, get to Crewe, bump into my mate Ace Croft, friend of the show, who was originally meant to be coming with me to this show, the original staging, but his nephew had tickets for the Manchester City game against Bournemouth. So he had to kind of put the wrestling to one side and go to the City game. Uh, as I say, met him at Crew. Uh, we'll see him tomorrow because we'll come to that in a wee minute. Um, anyway, board the train from Crew, get back to Piccadilly. And it's a fairly reasonable time. Uh, it was much easier getting home than it was going. Uh, and then just to complete the day, uh, on the bus home, and my next stop that I should have been getting off at, the bus decides to turn the corner due to allegedly a car accident, which was not a car accident at all, because you could see up the road and there were no cars, no police, no nothing. Um, so dropped me off about 20 minutes further than where I'd have to be. Uh, so yeah, that was enjoyable, getting me steps in. Um, but yeah, other than that, and the travel problems which blight me, um, it was a fun day out. I saw friends. I saw a lot of grapples. I got a new shirt. I got the Tara Grey shirt, which I would show on camera. Hang on. This may not show up on camera, but there's the shirt. So really looking forward to wearing that. I haven't had merch for a while now. Oh no, I tell a lie. I got one from Deck McCarthy. Seems to be I just buy loads of Irish wrestling merch at the moment. It feels. Um, but yeah, that was your Bridge Pro Wrestling review. Um, I'm not too sure when the next show is because they have not advertised one, so we await. Um, but as always, massive shout out to Ryan who promotes Bridge Pro. Good egg, always does great shows because I wouldn't travel to the I don't want to say the arse end of the country. Uh, well, Smethwick, that'll probably count as the arse end of because I hate it with a passion. Um, but yeah, if you can get to Bridge Pro when it's on, I definitely advise you to go. It is one of the best shows in the UK, I feel, uh, on the Indies. So highly recommend it. Um, what's upcoming for me? Uh, well, I am meant to be recording another show later today. Whether that happens, I do not know, because I've just found out that Mystery Wrestling is on. Um, so that might hamper things. Um, but yes, we will be hopefully reviewing Salford City Wrestling, Reckoning, as the show was. So we will look to try and do that. Uh, if not today, I may have to hold off till after the weekend because I am heading down to London for all in weekend. Um, I'll probably touch on this on the next show as well. But I have my three shows planned. One being Eve on the Friday night. Then on the Saturday in the mid-time or midday start, or close to it, for Mystery Wrestling. Both of them shows at the Big Penny Social. And finally, the Sunday night show for All In, of which I'll be honest, I'm not particularly up on this year. It it does not grab me compared to the last couple. Um, but yeah, there is that. So enjoy yourself if you're going to London. But I'm going to end the podcast here because I need something to eat and drink in case I do record later on. But for now, at least, thank you for listening, maybe watching when I get this finally up. But enjoy your wrestling, and I will see you soon.